Hey everyone, we'll get started in just a minute or so. I want to give people some additional time to sign in. All right, we'll get started. Thank you again for joining us today. Today I'll be presenting a webinar on achieving cold chain cost efficiencies with an IoT data logging solution. Just a little bit of housekeeping first. If you're not able to hear me, please do check your audio settings here in the taskbar. If you have any questions, you can enter them in the question box at any point in time, and at the end of the webinar, I will go through them and answer any questions that you may have. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available after this session. And at any point in time, you can go to the handouts section here. We have a few different promotional materials if you want to download them and check them out. And then also, we will be doing some survey questions today throughout the webinar. So today, we're going to really be talking a lot about the different monitoring methods that are out there today. So really focusing on the two different types, which is passive and active monitoring. Then we'll talk about the efficiencies of an IoT monitoring solution as they relate to passive and active monitoring. We'll go through the InTemp solution, starting off with our Bluetooth loggers, then our cellular loggers, and then talk a bit about our cloud platform and the mobile apps. And then we'll do a quick InTemp product overview, just going through all the loggers and devices that we recommend for cold chain monitoring specifically. So first up is our first survey question. And I want you to think about this question as I go through the webinar. What is your main goal with cold chain monitoring? And I want you to think about it because you'll see how different aspects of our solution and how different types of methods may or may not meet the needs of your cold chain monitoring. And then, we'll go through the InTemp solution specifically, and we could talk about how it actually really does meet every single one of these. But first, I want to open up the poll to ask, what is your main goal with them? Is it regulatory compliance? Is it process efficiency, cost reduction, or product loss prevention? I'll give you a little bit of time to answer that question. Okay. So some mixed results here. Most of you are saying that your main goal is for regulatory compliance, and we'll definitely talk about how the InTemp solution will allow you to do that. And then some of you said process efficiency, So we'll talk a lot about automation today and how that can improve the efficiency of your processes, and product loss prevention. So for that, we'll definitely talk about visibility, real-time notifications, and ways that you can monitor your shipments more effectively so that you can help prevent product loss. So starting off with the different types of monitoring. As I said, there's two main types, passive and active. And the type you choose is really based off of your priorities. So that's why we did that survey question, is to really focus on what are your specific priorities, capabilities, and your processes. So starting off with passive monitoring. Passive monitoring is when you're going from origin to destination, and the data for that shipment can only be downloaded and analyzed at the destination. There's no opportunities to collect data at any other point in time during the shipment. So because of that, it really doesn't allow for the intervention of any issues you might be having with your shipment. And you won't know something happened to that shipment until the end of it. It's already too late. So an example of this is USB data loggers. Typically, those are kept inside of a box, or they're put on a pallet and wrapped with the cellophane, and you can't really access or remove them until it actually reaches the destination. So that's why you're really not getting any data in any other point in time during the shipment. You're getting it at the destination, downloading the data, and then seeing what happened on the shipment. Then there's active monitoring. So in that case, the logger goes from origin to destination, and the data is constantly, or at least periodically, being uploaded to the system. So you can go in, retrieve and analyze that data at different points in time and get an assessment of whether or not your shipment is okay, which provides you with a lot more opportunity for intervention. You can see in some cases in real time, in other cases just with periodic checks, if something is happening to your shipment, and you can make decisions on the spot and help prevent product loss before it actually occurs. Good example of this is cellular data loggers. This is still kind of emerging technology. You're seeing it being used a lot more frequently these days, but cellular data loggers constantly send up data to whatever platform you're using, which allows you to pull that data, create reports, and analyze on the spot. And usually with cellular data loggers, you're not just getting temperature data, you're also seeing location. So you can see exactly where the shipment is and the health of the shipment at that point in time. Let's talk about the pros and cons of each. So with passive monitoring, the pros are it's typically a cheaper data logging solution. So again, talking about USB loggers, those are considered to be really the cheap solution, especially compared to cellular data loggers, which have more expensive technology and associated data plans. So passive monitoring is typically cheaper in that sense. It does not require a lot of coordination throughout the supply chain. By that, what we really mean is you don't have to create these really great lines of communication with your supply chain partners to see what's going on with the shipment. It's just, again, origin to destination, you get the data, and then that person does have to do coordination in terms of where to send the data, but it's a little bit simplified in that sense. There's less user management because USB loggers really don't typically require credentials and easy data access. Anybody in the world can pick up a USB data logger, plug it into the computer, and grab that data. Some cons of passive monitoring is there is no visibility until the shipment reaches its destination, something we just talked about. So because of that, there's no opportunities for intervention. So if you said that your main goal with cold chain monitoring was product loss prevention, then passive monitoring really isn't a great solution for you. If you're talking about regulatory compliance, then yeah, USB loggers definitely will work, but you'll see why there's other options out there that can make even regulatory compliance a lot more efficient and effective using a lot of the benefits and features of other technologies. Another con is if you lose one of those USB data loggers, it represents a complete loss of data. You're not going to be able to get that back. Once it's gone, it's gone. There's no automation and very limited customization with those loggers. So typically when you order a USB logger, you have to provide a lot of the details in terms of like low temp, high temp alarms, how often it records, how it starts up. And it's really difficult to change that behavior once it's done. And then there's no notification when shipment issues are occurring. So that's going back to the visibility component. You can't get like a email or text notification, or you can't get a notification through a cloud platform or anything like that when you're using a passive monitoring system. Active monitoring systems. So the opposite really of passive, you have lots of visibility throughout the entire supply chain. And that really allows for opportunities for intervention. Typically provides both location and temperature data depending on the type of device you're using or the type of system you're using. So it doesn't have to be a cellular data logger to get location data. There are other options out there. Reports for data analysis can be made at any time because the cellular loggers are constantly sending up data, and you can get data in real time, produce reports in real time, make decisions in real time, and really help to prevent product loss and increase efficiencies throughout your supply chain. It allows for greater automation and customization. And we'll talk a lot about automation in just a bit. And it can provide real-time notifications when shipment issues occur. So it's not like you have to sit in front of a computer just to take in that data and constantly analyze it. You can walk away and just rely on notifications to let you know when an issue is occurring and still have time to respond to it. Some of the cons typically are more expensive. So cellular loggers, again, tend to be a bit more expensive because of the hardware and the data plans. It requires coordination, communication, and availability throughout the entire supply chain. So you can get all the notifications in the world saying that something's going wrong with the shipment, but if you don't have a tight partnership with your supply chain partners, then there really isn't an opportunity to react and to intervene and make sure that that shipment gets back on track. So you do have to have that tight bond, that tight partnership with your supply chain partners. It can require regular shipment data monitoring. As I said before, it's not necessarily true depending on the system, and you can rely on notifications, so you don't have to have somebody sitting in front of a monitor 24/7. And it can sometimes require advanced setup. Again, not always true. As we go through the InTemp solution, you will see that there's a lot of ways to really simplify setup and automate the process for you, so you're really not doing a ton of steps to get things up and running. Which leads us to our next survey question. So we talked a lot about USB loggers, cellular loggers, but we want to know what kind of logger are you actually using today? And then we'll discuss kind of the pros and cons of these different types of loggers and how it plays into our solution. So open up the poll again and give you a little bit of time to answer. All right, looks like, again, we have a bit of a mix here. Looks like the majority of responses saying they're using Bluetooth, which is great. We'll talk a lot about Bluetooth solutions in just a moment. Some are using cellular and some are using the traditional USB loggers. And again, of course, it's all about what makes sense for your applications and what you are really focusing on in terms of your supply chain goals. But hopefully what we'll show you today with our solution is that, again, we can meet all your goals and more. So let's talk about the efficiencies of an IoT solution. An IoT solution allows for the automatic transfer and storage of cold chain data in a cloud-based platform to greatly increase visibility, control, and efficiency throughout the entire process. So there's a lot of value to an IoT solution. And an IoT solution really mostly closely resembles an active monitoring solution. So again, you have cellular loggers, which provide data in real time throughout the entire shipment. It's constantly sending up data for you to analyze and react to. Then Bluetooth. We call Bluetooth loggers kind of the in-between solution for a couple of different reasons. One is visibility. So you're not getting data in real time, but we've seen with a lot of shipping customers, they'll give their supply chain partners a gateway that they can use, and the gateway will automate downloads for them, so they're getting data at different points in time throughout the shipment. Or they might be using one of our mobile apps to do the same thing, to offload that data. So you're not just waiting for the loggers to get to the destination. You can get data at several different points throughout the entire supply chain. So you're not just waiting to the end to find out that something went wrong. And the nice thing that it's Bluetooth is you don't have to remove them from the shipment. You can stand right outside of it, upload the data using the mobile device or the gateway, you're all set. You can benefit from email and text notifications to alert you of issues in real time. So again, just because you're using a cellular logger doesn't mean you have to sit in front of a monitor 24/7. You can rely on these notifications to let you know that something's happening in real time. And the notifications are for our Bluetooth loggers as well. Do a download halfway through the shipment, you might see that there was an alarm right then and there. Talk with your supply chain partners to figure out how to fix it. So all that helps you to prevent product loss before it occurs. And then again, you'll see that the cellular and Bluetooth IoT solution will open you up for a lot of automation and the ability to customize device behavior, customize data, and get a lot of value for the price that you're paying. Going back to Bluetooth, the other reason why we say it's an in-between solution is because of the price as well. Definitely not as expensive as a cellular logger, and they are still a good low-cost option compared to USB loggers because of the value that they provide. So again, you get automation, customization, you are able to get data offloads and provide additional visibility. So while they might be a little bit more expensive USB loggers, you get a lot more value for what you're paying for. So not only is an IoT solution an active monitoring solution, it also has the benefits of a passive monitoring solution. These Bluetooth data loggers are inexpensive, provide all those increased efficiencies and visibility like we just talked about. But then in addition to that, InTemp itself has a mobile app called InTemp Verify. This minimizes user management and increases data accessibility just like a USB logger would. We'll talk a lot more about InTemp Verify in just a bit. And the other nice thing is it is still an easy to use system after you do a one-time initial setup. So you go into the cloud platform, you create profiles that define device behavior, you set up your notifications, and that's it. Once you've done that, you're good to go. You just start the loggers and you download the loggers. That's it. So it's very easy to use as well. So let's talk about the InTemp solution in general. Not only does it provide the benefits of the active and passive monitoring solutions, it also allows for automation. So I said we'll talk a lot about automation today. This is really letting the hardware do the work for you so you can take a lot of the human component out of it, take out the error from the process. With the Bluetooth loggers, if you're using our gateway, that can automate logger startup, logger downloading, data transfer, and reporting. So using that gateway really automates the system so that all you really have to do is throw the logger into the shipment, let the gateway take over. Again, it will start it, it will download it, it will provide you periodic data wherever there's other gateways so that you're not waiting to the destination to get all that data. It really increases cold chain efficiencies. With the cellular loggers, you're getting the automation through the cellular feature itself. So you're getting that automatic transfer of data. All you're doing is setting up the logger in the system to start and then stopping the shipment once you're done. Really simple process. And then there's customization. So as we talked about before, USB loggers aren't particularly great in terms of customization because it's really hard to program and reprogram them. With an IoT solution, you yourself can customize the device behavior. You decide what the alarm limits are, how often it records data, how it starts up. So you can constantly change the device behavior really easily to meet the unique cold chain requirements of that particular shipment. Then the cloud-based platform allows you to really customize your data as well. So it's not just the one standard report that you might get off a USB logger. It's sending the raw data up to our cloud platform, which then gives you the ability to create advanced reports, put a bunch of loggers together, one report, group the data in the way you need to see it. You can even use data tags. We have a feature that allows you to create data tags so that you can analyze things like package type, courier, shipping method, to see what is and isn't working for you, and consequently decrease costs and increase efficiencies with it. In addition to that, our cloud system is a privilege-based system. Everything you do in that system has an associated privilege. So you decide who's able to do what. Only some people will be able to download reports. Other people might be able to create those profiles that define device behavior, set up notifications, and so forth. The system overall is highly customizable, allowing you to set it up the way you need it for your business. And then, of course, compliance. Our entire solution is 21 CFR Part 11, EU Annex 11 compliant. In addition to that, we have a 17025 NIST calibration lab. So all of our loggers come with a 17025 NIST certificate. So going into the solutions in detail a bit more, we're going to start off with our Bluetooth solutions. And again, I refer to this as the in-between solution on both price and visibility. So still low cost option with a ton of value, and allows for more visibility than a standard USB logger. You get automation with the gateway. So again, automatically configure, start, download, send data, and get reports. And you can use the notifications to know when an alarm is occurring or when a download occurred. And then with that notification, you'll get an email with a report directly in it. So you don't even need to go to the cloud platform to pull the report. You can get that automatically. As mentioned before, you can customize a lot of different things, the device behavior, your reports. It meets all regulatory compliance needs. It increases cold chain visibility and allows for a partial active monitoring solution. So again, that in between. And all of our Bluetooth loggers can be used with both the gateway and our mobile apps. So if you're not using the gateway for whatever reason, you can use the mobile apps as well to set the loggers up, download them, produce reports, and do a lot of the same things you do in our cloud platform. And all of the majority of our loggers have single and multi-use options. The one with the LCDs on the screen there are all multi-use options only. They don't have a single-use version, but the ones below that, single and multi-use options. Then we have our cellular loggers. This is a relatively new product for us, and it does provide real-time temperature and location data. So not only can you see the health of your shipment, you can see where your shipment is. Additionally, it has light and shock sensors. So light and shock is important for you to monitor, whether it's because your product is sensitive to those things or you're using them for security reasons. They are available and you'll get notifications if those sensors are triggered. This really gives you the ability to react to alarms and intervene when necessary. We provide dashboards so you can see where the shipment is. You can go into the dashboard and get additional information. Again, it's all real time, so it's constantly updating. You're able to customize it just like our Bluetooth loggers, and they come with the 17025 one-year NIST certificate, just like them, and also single multi-use options. So let's talk about the software behind it. This is probably one of the most important parts, and it's what really gives a ton of value to our product. So first thing I want to talk about is the InTemp Connect Cloud Platform. This is your control tower, where you set up your system, where you define behavior, where you get data and create reports. And the great thing about InTemp Connect is it's free to use. No sign-up charges, no yearly charges. You just go ahead and sign up, buy our loggers, and configure your loggers to your account. You're good to go. You can do your data storage, analysis, and reporting from here for all your regulatory compliance needs. You can even create shipments directly in our system. So there is a shipment creation tool. You have the ability to do remote device management. So if a logger is in range of a gateway, and when in range, we're talking about Bluetooth range. So it's 100 feet, 30.5 meters. So anytime you're talking about the gateway or using one of the mobile apps, we are saying that the loggers have to be in range of those devices. But if it's in range of a gateway, if you need to do an off-schedule download to do some additional analysis, you have that ability. It is a 21 CFR Part 11 EU Annex 11 compliant solution, and it's also GDPR compliant. And then we talked about customization a bit already. Again, you can customize the device behavior, and you can customize your data and your reports. But additionally, you can customize user permissions and privileges and security features. So even there, we know not every organization is the same, even when it comes to security. You might want to customize user access, how often they have to change passwords, and so forth. Next up, we have the InTemp mobile app, also free to use. So InTemp Connect and both of our mobile apps are free to use. With this, you can view and manage your devices. So you can get your data, you can start a logger, download a logger, get reports, send reports. So a lot of things you can do with InTemp Connect just on a mobile device. And again, you just have to be in range of the loggers in order to pull the data from them. Right on the front screen or home screen, you can see essential data, logger data in real time. And in real time, again, really means when you're in range of that logger. So you can see if there's any alarms, what the current temperature is, what the battery level is, and so forth. You're also able to create logger and gateway profiles. So again, those profiles are what dictate the device behavior. So you don't have to go to the cloud platform to do that. A lot of the tools you need are also in the mobile app. And then everything you do in the mobile app syncs directly to your cloud account. Same thing with the gateway. So whether you're using one of our mobile apps or the gateway, you can be sure that all the data is getting sent to your InTemp Connect cloud account in a centralized location. And then lastly for software, we have InTemp Verify. This is such an important app that really helps out with supply chain monitoring and really has a lot of benefits specifically for last mile monitoring and direct to patient. So we developed this app to really provide the same benefits of a USB logger, but then take it several steps further in terms of value. So as we talked about with USB loggers, some of the main advantages is there's no user management, and there's plenty, or the data access is really simple. So again, everybody can pick up a USB logger, plug it in computer, and get that data. Those are really important advantages. InTemp Verify does the same thing with our loggers. So what you do is you decide as the logger owner which loggers can and cannot be used with InTemp Verify. If you don't want it used with InTemp Verify, they won't even show up in the app at all. And then whoever is using InTemp Verify, they simply sign up with their email address and just first, last name, some additional information, and that's it. They don't need user credentials to your cloud account. They don't need anything to be able to download the logger. So it opens it up for extremely simple data access, just like a USB logger. But then it takes it a step further. It ensures security by making sure you can't do anything with the logger. So person using InTemp Verify can't start a logger, reconfigure a logger, can't download and stop a logger. All they can do is a data offload. And what's great is, unlike USB loggers where you have to think about who to send that data to, where to send the data to, the system knows exactly where to send that data to automatically. It sees the InTemp Connect account the logger was configured under and knows to send the data directly to that cloud account. So it even automates that process for you. And the user, the InTemp Verify user, also doesn't really have access to any of your data. So they can see current temperature, they can see if there is an alarm, but they can't get the report and they can't see past data, ensuring that your data stays safe. Now you, again, as the data logger owner and the InTemp Connect account owner, can decide, well, I actually do want that user to have data, and that's simple to do. You can set up notifications so that anybody using InTemp Verify that does a download gets an automatic email with the report in it. And you don't even need to know the email. The system already knows it. They signed in with their email. It takes it and it sends the report directly to them. So you decide whether or not they actually get data. So it's giving you that data access, and it's taking away the need for any user account credentials, just like a USB logger, but then it goes several steps further to provide even more value with automation, especially when it comes to data transfer and sending. It's a really great app to use. Leads us to our next survey question. What features do you value the most with the product monitoring system? So we talked a lot about the different features of our software platform and our mobile apps. What matters the most to you? Is it the automation, like with our gateway or the cellular loggers, so automating the process or automating reporting? Is it customization, so customizing your data or device behavior? Ease of use, so having a simple system to use, being able to easily set up your devices for recording and downloading? Or is it advanced reporting and analytics? Launch that survey now and give you a little bit to answer. All right. So again, a little bit of mixed results here with the majority of you saying ease of use, which is great. So I mentioned before that once you do your initial setup within the cloud platform, usually you don't have to do anything else again. You set up the gateways, you set up your notifications, your profiles, and then the system takes it from there. It automates everything. So there is a lot of value in that automation and the configuration and the customization that provides ease of use for you, making it a system that works for your specific needs and your specific applications. Some of you said automation was, which we talked about the gateway and how that provides automation benefits, as well as their cellular loggers. And others said advanced reporting and analytics. Again, we have the ability to create advanced reports, which you can then customize and group data differently and use data tags in order to do different types of business analysis. So now we're going to go through the product line real quickly, just highlight a lot of the different devices that are typically used in a cold chain application. First up, we have the CX500s. This is really the standard offering for shipment monitoring. All of our loggers, again, except for the ones with the LCDs, the 400s and the 450s, have two models, a single use and a multi-use. Multi-use meaning you can use it as many times as you want, up to 1 year. 1 year really is the battery life and is also the life of the NIST certificate. That's why we say up to 1 year. All of these are Bluetooth enabled so that they can be used with the gateway and our mobile apps. And even with the Bluetooth loggers, you can get some level of location reporting. So the app has is able to know your location unless you disable that and you want your privacy. So it can be disabled. Same with the gateway. You can't set up a gateway to know its own location. So even with that, you can get some location data. And all of our supply chain, cold chain loggers are miscalibrated for 1 year. The number of points we test at does vary a little bit. So this one is a 3-point NIST, good for 1 year. And it has an operating range of -30 to 70. So we're talking frozen to ambient shipments. Next, we have our dry ice version of that same logger. So same exact thing, except it's able to go all the way down to -95C and up to 50C. We have an LCD version of dry ice logger. We built this specifically for COVID vaccines. So back when those vaccines were being kept in dry ice conditions, we were listening to our customers and to the regulatory bodies who were all saying that they really needed that LCD. So we took our existing dry ice and combined it with our 400 loggers so that you have that display. AAA replaceable batteries. It has audible and visual alarms. And again, 1 year NIST calibration, this one with 2 points. Then we have our cryo logger. So this one, just like our dry ice logger, can go to ultra cold temperatures. This one going down all the way down to -200 and up to 50C. And everything else is pretty much the same in terms of single multi-use, being compatible gateway and app, and the NIST certificate. The CX450 is our only temp and humidity logger. So it's a dual temp humidity. Has an operating range of -30 to 70 for temperature and 0 to 95% for humidity. Also AAA battery replaceable with those audible and visual alarms. Also compatible with the gateway mobile app. And it comes with a 2-point NIST certificate for 1 year, but it's 2 points for each measurement. So 2 points for temperature, 2 points for humidity. Then our gateway. We talked a lot about the gateway already. This is what automates your Bluetooth solution. It automatically will configure your loggers, download your loggers, send the data up, produce reports for you. So if you need that automation, if your goal is process efficiency or cost reduction, then gateway is what you're really looking for in conjunction with our Bluetooth loggers. This is the only device that has an associated data plan. So again, InTemp Connect and our mobile apps, free to use. This does come with an annual cloud service plan. It's very minimal though. It's only $50 per gateway per year. So if you have one gateway, you're just paying an additional $50 per year. Very competitive in that sense. Now there's cellular loggers. We have the CX1000 series, both single and multi-use options as well. You have an operating range of -20 to 60, so you're still getting the frozen to ambient range there. In addition to temperature, you're also able to monitor location in real time. And it has those light, shock, and low battery events if that's important to you. It also has a sensor for acceleration and pressure. And if one or both of those get triggered, it shuts off the cellular communication, which is why it can be taken onto planes and why it's IATA and FAA compliant. Also, a fully 21 CFR Part 11 compliant solution, also ISO 17025 calibrated. Here's a very simplified example of our dashboard, but here you can see the shipment route that this particular logger took. And you can see at each upload point, indicated by the little markers there, one's green, one's red. So we color code them: origin, destination, last location, previous location. You can click on any one of those upload points to get additional information about that point specifically. So you can see what the location was and whether or not there was any alarms and the temperature at that location. So that was all the products we currently have. I do also want to highlight some upcoming products. In January of next year, we intend to release the CX1603, which is the Pro version of the cellular logger. That particular logger will actually be able to go down to dry ice levels. And then we'll be also releasing the 1703, which is the cryo version. So that would be able to go down to negative 199 Celsius. Additionally, in March of next year, we're going to be releasing the cellular version of our gateway. So currently our gateway will talk to our loggers via Bluetooth and send data up via Ethernet or Wi-Fi connection. That can be difficult for some customers, especially if their 3PL or their supply chain partners don't want external devices being set up in their buildings. We hear that a lot with hospitals and clinics as well, where they don't want external devices on their network. So if you're running into that issue, or if you don't have really good Wi-Fi, this is a great alternative solution for you. It will communicate via cellular connection. It will definitely be a little bit more expensive because it will have an associated cellular data plan, but it's great if you're running into the issues that I described. The last thing I want to talk about is our APIs. So again, we've been really focusing on how do we meet all the goals that we discussed in the beginning of this webinar, what your goals were. Talked a lot about automation and customization. APIs really take it to the next level. So we have 3 different offerings for APIs. We have pull APIs for InTemp Connect system. So if you want to pull data from InTemp Connect and pull it into your own systems, we can do that. That's easy to do. You can send the data or pull the data into whatever system that you want. We have single sign-on services. So if you need other ways to authenticate instead of authenticating through InTemp Connect, we can provide single sign-on. Then we have logger control APIs. So if you decide that you want to use your own app with mobile device or your own gateway, we have APIs that allow you to interact with our loggers, to send commands to them to configure, to start up, to download. So a full control API that allows you to use your own devices, your own apps, if that is what you want to do. Great example of this is we currently work with a global tier 1 pharmaceutical customer. They actually create all of their shipments in their own ERP system. That information for the shipment then gets pushed down to our InTemp Connect system, and then InTemp Connect automatically creates a shipment based off of the information sent by their ERP platform. The InTemp Connect shipment then gets sent down to the gateways, and then as soon as the loggers come into range of that gateway, the gateway knows exactly what to do with them. It'll either configure them and start them up for the shipment, getting all the metadata that is provided with the shipment from the ERP system. And then at the destination, it will download and stop them automatically. And then in between that, so again, it's not just origin destination, there's a lot of spots in between. They do utilize the mobile app and other gateways to get those periodic uploads to increase visibility and to make any changes on the spot if required. Then in addition to that, they do use our pull APIs to pull data from InTemp Connect and send it to their Power BI system. So just like I was talking about before with the pull APIs for InTemp Connect, you can pull the data from it, send it to whatever system you want. But this is a great example of what one of our current customers is doing, which really helped them to make their process that much more efficient and reduce costs in that sense. So that is the end of the webinar. Oh, sorry, there is one more survey question. I forgot about this one. Just to wrap it up. And this survey question is asking, when assessing a data logger supplier, what is your main consideration for purchase? So is it price? Is it the feature suite? So the dashboards, the advanced analytics? Is it customer support, trainings, troubleshooting, general customer support? Or is it services like qualifications, validations, alert monitoring, etc.? So I'll open up this poll now and then give you a little bit of time to answer. All right. So we have some people naturally saying price. So again, if price is your main consideration, highly encourage you to check out our Bluetooth product offerings. Low cost solution with a ton of value. Some people said feature suites. So things like dashboard, advanced analytics, which we already went over. So we have dashboards for location tracking and real-time monitoring, advanced analytics to alter and customize your compliance reports, and the ability to group data the way you need to see it. And then we have great customer support. So we have a great tech support team that will assist you with any issues you might be having with the system, or if you have any questions that you need to ask them, they're available there for you to reach out to. We also provide free weekly trainings. So we have a person who's live on a call providing a training for how to set up your InTemp Connect cloud platform, or how to even simply just configure and download one of our loggers. In addition to that, we have a lot of great resources on our website. So you can sign up for the trainings on our website. You can look at a lot of different training videos, and then we have a lot of great documentation out there. So we do everything we can to really provide you with great customer support. Now for services, you know, we tend to keep our services within the solution itself. So things like alert monitoring, that's the point of our notifications. So great example is if you have a logger that is alarming, that gateway will pick it up, or the cellular logger will let you know immediately so that you can get that visibility and you don't need to rely on somebody to report it out to you. So that's the way we typically tend to approach services like that. So with that, that ends the webinar, and I would like to open it up to any questions you might have. So again, if you do have questions, please put them into the question box and I'll be happy to answer them. Okay. Not seeing any questions come in, but if you ever do have any follow-up questions or questions in the future, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach out to our sales team or customer support. Happy to answer any questions you might have. Thank you all very much for attending today, and I really hope to see you in the future. Have a great day.